Good morning, I'm Sarah. Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. The Office of the Controller of Examinations at Tribhuvan University publishes academic calendar for graduate level. Human resource constraint, however, a hurdle to meet its commitment. Around 30% of agricultural production likely to be affected due to lack of winter rain. Experts call for food security program. The hearing on South Africa's case against Israel alleging genocide in Gaza to begin today at the International Court of Justice. Israeli Prime Minister says Israel does not intend to permanently occupy Gaza. And Real Madrid enter into the final of Spanish Super Cup, defeating Atletico Madrid. Barcelona play Osasuna for a place in the final later tonight. The Office of the Controller of Examinations at Tribhuvan University has published an annual calendar for the graduate level amid continued criticism that the university has not been able to issue academic calendar. The office has incorporated the suggestions made by the TU Examination Reform and Coordination Council, and it aims at releasing results within 100 days. This comes amid long-standing grievances that the university has not been able to publish results on time. Based on the calendar, the university is to take in graduate scholars in the Nepalese month of Shravan, conduct exams in 1 year and release the results in 100 days' time. The university has not been able to publish the results of humanities, management, education, science and law exams that was taken some 8 months ago. Despite the calendar release, questions are rife as the university has been reporting lack of human resource. The Office of the Examination Controller requires at least 244 staff. However, only 123 positions have been fulfilled at the present time. The office has been citing lack of human resource behind the inability to publish results on time. Hence, analysts say although the Exam Controller's office has released a calendar, it is bound to struggle to meet its deadlines. Meanwhile, university officials have hinted at hiring more human resource to meet the demand. The Department of Hydrology and Meteorology has said snow and rainfall have been delayed in the upper hilly region due to inactive westerly winds. Snow and rainfall in the higher hilly regions are the result of active westerly winds during winter season that creates a low-pressure region. Meteorologists say the higher hilly regions should have already witnessed heavy snowfall at this time. Agri-scientists say agricultural production in the region has been directly affected due to drought. They say the agri-production will be affected by up to 30% due to lack of winter rain and snowfall. Experts say the scenario most affects wheat, flour and buckwheat and even apples production. They add this was a result of climate change and have called for a climate change adaptation program. And in this context, in our Public Voice segment, we've asked in all 7 provinces, how has the lack of winter rain affected them? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
आकाशे पानी छैन भनेपछि बैशाख चैत बैशाखमा फेरि झन् पानीको हाकार हुन्छ।
पहिलो कुरो जोत्न गाह्रो भयो, दोस्रो लाई लायो, तेस्रो बिरुवा लाउनलाई चाहिँ भन्नु पानी पुगेन, पानी भएन।
फलफुलको बोटहरु मरेको छ पानी नपर्नाले।
रोग किरा लागेको छ हैन, हामीलाई पानी ओसारेर हाल्नु पर्ने अवस्था छ।
खोलाबाट पानी बोकेर हाल्न पर्छ, बोट बिरुवा मरे है।
पानी पर्या छैन, अहिले पानी नपरेको भए तपाईको अब यहाँ गाउँहरुमा सुका खडेरी पर्न जान्छ।
सिंचाइ गर्नमा अप्ठ्यारो भइरहेछ।
हिउँदमा लगाएका तरकारीदेखि गहुँ धेरै बालीहरु उत्पादन कमी भइरहेको अवस्था छ।
यसले यो सागपातलाई पेलो बनाइरहेछ, पेलो होइबर सागपात किन्नलाई टेक्दा रहेनन्, काई सुकबर सेतो होइरहेछ, काई पेलो होइरहेछ।
सिंचाइमा समस्या, त्यसपछि उत्पादन जुन हुनुपर्ने उत्पादन भने जति उत्पादन नहुने,
उत्पादनै हुनु छोड्यो त पानी नभएर।
समयमै उब्जनी हुनुपर्ने अन्न बालीहरु ढिलाइ हुन्छ।
अलैँची बगानहरु अब सुकेर जाने भए।
प्राय धेरै डाँठ कुने, पेलो पात पेला हुने, पातमा तिब्का सेता पात हुने, त्यही भएर बजारमा यो रायो लग्दाखेरि पनि त्यहाँ मान्छेहरूले किन्न मानिरहेका छैनन्।
आकाशको बानी आएपछि हाम्रो यो तरकारी बारी केही पनि हुन्न।
The Election Commission is set to publish the final list of candidates today for the National Assembly elections that has been slated for 25th of January. The commission is to evaluate on the complaints filed against the candidates and then release the final list. 52 individuals have registered to contest in the upper house polls, which will have 19 of its seats vacant by March this year. The tenure of the newly elected upper house members will begin on the 4th of March. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what's your take on the Prime Minister's assurance to not worry about the agreement with India? Your options are A, defending the agreement, B, attempt for assurance, and C, respecting the neighbor. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Nepal Electricity Authority has said it has not received official correspondence from the government to resume power supply to industries that use electricity from the dedicated and trunk lines but have yet to clear their dues. The authority has said it will resume power supply once the ministry sends official correspondence. The authority had cut off power supply to 24 of the 61 industries that use electricity from the dedicated and trunk lines during load shedding but didn't clear their dues. The government meanwhile had announced that a committee had been formed to probe into the matter and had decided to resume supply of electricity immediately. The investment board has said an agreement has been struck with the Indian Grandhi Mallikarjun Rao GMR to pull in more companies to complete the Upper Karnali hydropower project. This comes after criticisms that GMR had pulled in companies without informing the Nepal government for the project, in which it owns 73% shares. It has been understood that GMR had sold 36.5% of its shares to another Indian company, Satlaj. GMR had received the Upper Karnali project in 2008. However, the company has struggled to manage finances for the project. In the Project Development Agreement PDA signed in 2014, the company was to arrange for finances by 2018 and bring the project into operation in 2024. Based on the PDA, GMR could pull in another company. However, the management responsibility would remain with GMR. Meanwhile, the Nepal government has not been corresponded regarding GMR's decision to sell half of its shares to Satlaj. GMR is to hand over the project to Nepal government in 25 years. The Upper Karnali hydropower project is estimated to cost 116 billion rupees, and once completed, it will produce 900 megawatts of electricity. Satlaj company is currently looking after the construction of 900 megawatts Arun 3rd hydropower project. And with that, let's move on to international update. 2 days of public hearings in South Africa's genocide case against Israel will start at the International Court of Justice today, as pro-Palestine campaigners hope that the World Court might halt Israel's devastating military campaign in Gaza. The case filed by South Africa sets a precedent as the first at the ICJ relating to the siege on the Gaza Strip, where more than 23,000 people have been killed since October 7, nearly 10,000 of them children. In its application submitted on December 29 last year, South Africa accuses Israel of committing genocide in contravention of the 1948 UN Genocide Convention, which both South Africa and Israel are party to. Countries party to the treaty have the collective right to prevent and stop the crime. The killing of civilians in large numbers, especially children, the expulsion and displacement of Palestinians en masse, and the destruction of their homes, the inciting statements by several Israeli officials portraying Palestinians as subhumans to be collectively punished, all constitute genocide and show proof of intent, South Africa alleges. The suit also lists the blockade on food and the destruction of essential health services for pregnant women and babies as measures by Tel Aviv intended to bring about Palestinians' destruction as a group. More than 85% of Gaza's 2.3 million people have been displaced since October 7, with aid agency warning of famine risk amid mounting hunger. A full judgment from the court determining whether Israel has committed genocide in Gaza will likely take years to emerge. A 2019 case that the Gambia brought against Myanmar for its military crackdown on Rohingya refugees is still on trial. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said in a televised statement, Israel has no intention of permanently occupying Gaza. Netanyahu added Israel's goal is to rid Gaza of Hamas terrorists and free their hostages. Once this is achieved, Gaza can be demilitarized and de-radicalized, according to Netanyahu. Palestinian death toll from Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip has risen to 23,357, with 59,410 people wounded since the outbreak of the Israel-Hamas conflict on 7th of October. The Palestinian Health Ministry said about 1.9 million people of Gaza's population of 2.3 million are displaced as entire neighborhoods have been leveled by the Israeli bombardments. At least 147 Palestinians were killed and 243 others wounded in the Israeli military operations across the Gaza Strip in the past 24 hours. More than 40 people were killed or wounded yesterday in an Israeli bombing that targeted a house adjacent to Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in Deir al-Bala, central Gaza. The Israeli Defense Forces has said the Israeli air raided the Hezbollah command center and rocket launch site in southern Lebanon. Before that, 3 rockets were fired from Lebanon into Israeli Arab Al-Aramshi region, triggering rocket sirens. The IDF said all 3 rockets had landed in open ground and the Israeli military was striking the launching strike. The United Nations has called for the entry of more aid into Gaza and accused Israel of denying several aid missions into the Palestinian enclave. Obstacles by Israeli authorities prevented UN aid teams from delivering desperately needed humanitarian relief inside Gaza, effectively cutting off 5 hospitals in the north from access to life-saving medical supplies and equipment. Hundreds have been arrested in Ecuador after the army was deployed to restore law and order in the South American country following a wave of violence. Ecuadorian armed forces told media that 329 terrorists were arrested and 5 others were killed as part of security operations. Inmates in Ecuador are holding more than 130 prison guards and other staff hostage in at least 5 prisons. Gunmen took over a TV station live on air, and explosions erupted around the city on Tuesday in a dramatic wave of fresh violence this week. The hostage takings began in the early hours of Monday after the apparent escape of a gang leader from prison over the weekend, spurring Ecuador's President Daniel Noboa to declare a 60-day state of emergency. Noboa, who was promised to tackle a growing security problem caused by a rise in drug gangs transporting cocaine through Ecuador on Wednesday, said the country was at war a day after naming 32 gangs as terrorist organizations and making them official military targets. Elsewhere, Papua New Guinea's Prime Minister James Marape has warned ill discipline in the police force will not be tolerated a day after angry protests by the police and public sector over a pay cut grew into deadly riots that killed at least 15 people. 8 people died in the riots in the capital Port Moresby, while a further 7 were killed in Lae in the country's north. Speaking at a press conference, Marape said assistance will be provided to businesses affected by looting and arson from the riots. Police went on strike yesterday morning after discovering a reduction in their salary, which officials blamed on an administrative glitch. Russian missile strike hit a hotel in the country's second-largest city, Kharkiv, last night. Kharkiv Governor Oleh Syniehubov, writing on Telegram, said the strike took place at about 10:30 p.m. local time, injuring 11 people, 1 person seriously. Hotel rooms with entire walls were seen blown out and balconies destroyed, with large piles of charred rubble in the street below. Emergency teams made their way through gaping holes in the facade to sift through the debris inside. Argentina and the International Monetary Fund (IMF) finalized the details of an agreement over the country's embattled $44 billion loan program, unlocking a more than expected $4.7 billion. The country, battling annual inflation heading toward 200% and net foreign currency reserves in negative territory, needed to revamp its huge IMF deal after the previous government missed various economic targets linked to the program. The new government of Libertarian President Javier Milei had been locked in talks with the IMF officials in Buenos Aires since late last week, aiming to unlock the 7th review of the program and new funds for debt repayments. And that is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.